right, so we played a game out in Tahoe called Start for Your Life, okay? You have a game. A baseball game is to be played. Your life depends on the outcome of this game. Who do you want pitching for your team in that game? Start for your life. Here are your choices, okay?
Okay.
Why can't he just pick a pitcher?
He can't.
No, give me the choices.
Here are the choices. That's not the game, Chris. I mean,
You weren't there, Chris. You don't get it.
okay.
Yeah, Chris, you don't understand. You weren't in Tahoe.
Oh, Jesus.
Tabros.
Oh, God. All right, here are your choices. Beckett, Smoltz, Pettit, Jack Morris, game for your life.
I mean, there's so many funny things about this. First of all, I know I'm biased. I'm a Red Sox fan, but that entire David Wells interview, anytime you asked him like about a start for your life or like a great pitcher, all he did was name his former teammates.
I know.
It was just Pettit and Cone.
Yes.
The ones who carried him there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like look up Andy Pettit's postseason stats as I did after I heard that interview.
Right.
Pettit was 19-11 in the postseason. He had exactly the same career winning percentage in the postseason as he did in the regular season. Exactly the same. His ERA is exactly the same. His WHIP is exactly the same. Like it is such a false narrative that Andy Pettit was this incredible big game pitcher. He was the same guy.
Right.
It's the same thing as Derek. And granted, the competition's always good in the playoffs, but it's the same thing as Derek Jeter being Mr. November, Mr. Playoffs. Same batting average postseason or regular season. Same stats across the board. He was exactly the same guy. The answer, exactly the same guy. The answer, it's not Jack Morris. Jack Morris famously pitched that 10-inning game and won Game 7.
It was kind of a game. It was kind of a game for your life scenario, you know?
Look what happened the next years when he was with Toronto. He pitched in the World Series and got lit up. He absolutely got lit up. He had 2 chances, I believe, to clinch that series for the Blue Jays, and he lost both of them and got knocked out in like the 4th inning. It's a complete fiction that Jack Morris was the guy that everybody says he is. Okay. The answer among those 4 guys is Josh Beckett.
Finally, someone gives the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer you've been waiting for.
I've been waiting for Josh Beckett to be that answer every single time we've asked the question. It's Josh Beckett.
Go look at Pettit's postseason stats. They're not that great. He had like a 3.87 ERA or 4 ERA. He was 19-11. He had the same guy in the postseason as he was in the regular season.
Totally fair. Greg, how do you feel about that? Because I don't think you would choose Beckett. Would you game for your life?
I mean, Beckett was great when he was great, but his time of being great was pretty small, whether by injuries or what have you. Pettit, I feel like, had a greater career. I'm a Hall of Fame voter. I wonder why Pettit's not in the Hall of Fame. Do you think he should be?
No, he's not in the Hall of Fame because he wasn't good enough to be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. I mean,
You're asking a Red Sox fan if a Yankee should be in the Hall of Fame.
I get that, but 256 wins is pretty rarefied territory.
Yeah, but also that was an era where guys pitched longer than they do now. Like, and he was a very good pitcher for a very long time. Classic compiler is what I would say.
Mike, I was too afraid to say it to David Wells' face about the playoffs.
Oh, I wouldn't. By the way, I wouldn't have either.
Yeah,
that guy's huge.
But
cowards.
The reality is that could you argue that basically all of those Yankee pitchers were just playoff compilers, and that's why they're considered some of the greatest pitchers ever? Even Cone, Pettit, all of them.
They were all very good pitchers. They were all like solid B-plus pitchers. That's why those Yankees teams won so much. There were no weak links in their rotation. Like they had El Duque and they had Cone and they had Pettit and they had Wells. And year after year after year, they just threw really high-quality starters against every team they played. And their lineup 1 through 9 was very, very good. Like Jorge Posada was secretly the toughest out in their lineup, and he was their catcher. Like it was just a team with no weaknesses. So they, generally speaking, won more than they lost. But they didn't have like Garrett Cole. I would pick a Garrett Cole game for my life over any of those 90s Yankee starters, frankly.
So none of the Yankees are great, is what we're saying.
They're all overrated.
Compilers.
They're all just very
they're all
good.
Very good. They're all extremely good players.
Can
Like,
we
they had
find a
team-
great Yankee? Mickey Mantle.
Nick.
No, are we saying none of those
Joe
90s
Compiler.
Yankees? They won the World Series.
Roger Maris.
96, 98, 99.
No, Jeter was
2000.
great. Jeter was great. Then they had like Bernie Williams and Paul O'Neill and Soriano and Robinson Cano. And
These are all
these guys who
average
were, like,
players. Mike
very, very. They're not average.
They're good.
Extremely good.
They're very good players made great
Yeah.
by the amount of plate appearances they had in the postseason. Right? Is that fair?
They were great. They were very, 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 very good players who played very, very, very well in the postseason, and they won 4 championships. So like, it's not an insult to say that they weren't all-time greats. Like, look at that Yankees lineup has one Hall of Famer in it, right? It's Jeter. Like, no one else from that lineup is going to the Hall of Fame because none of them. Bernie Williams was excellent. He wasn't a Hall of Famer. Same with Paul O'Neill. Same with, Matsui. Like, they just had everybody 1 through 9 in their lineup was an excellent hitter. But they weren't like
Scott
all-timers.
Brocious?
Scott Brocious stunk.
The hot corner. He was terrible. Yeah, but he hit a couple of big dongs in some big games for the Yanks. I mean,
he totally
that's
did.
what it's all about,
Yeah.
But someone
Home
else
run for your life.
Right.
Home run for your life. Scott Brocious or Roberto Clemente.
Oh, wow. Brocious. I mean, if I opened up to all the pitchers, if I opened up that same question, you have every pitcher to choose from. Who are you going with?
Well, I mean, if you're focusing on postseason stuff, you got to throw my boy Curt Schilling in there.
Woof.
He was an incredible postseason pitcher. You probably got to throw Bob Gibson in there. You probably got to throw, I don't know. You got to throw like, who were the guys who like year after year did it? There's like guys like in an individual year, like Jose Rijo in 1990.
Oh,
Can I pick
he was
Jose
great.
Rijo in
Yes,
1990?
I would pick 1990 Jose Rijo, as a matter of fact.
That Reds team.
It was a year, but man, was it a year.
It was 1 year, but man, he really shut the A's down. Yeah.
I think I would go like John Tudor, like in 91 on the Cardinals. He had a year. He did.
Frankie V. Get Frankie V in there.
Sweet music. I mean, that would be great.